Wow, okay, I've got a lot I can't tell. So, I can't tell that one either. I mean, I'm like actually cycling through them.
Ashton Kutcher and him they were real tight. One time, me, him, Ashton Kutcher went to a Nets game, and we met Jay-Z there.
Kutcher looked in the window and saw what he thought was spilled wine on the floor. We believe now the evidence will show that was actually blood.
What if we told you the Hollywood golden boy Ashton Kutcher isn't who you think he is? From sitcom fame to Silicon Valley royalty, Ashton built a brand on being the smart, funny, all-American guy. But now, shocking allegations, buried secrets, and a growing investigation have turned everything upside down. And Mila Kunis, she's done, completely cutting ties. The question isn't just what Ashton did, but what he's been hiding all along. Because now, whispers are turning into screams, and everything from murder cases, shady parties, and secret recordings is being dragged into the spotlight. So buckle up. This story gets darker than anyone expected. The arrest rumors erupt. For years, Ashton Kutcher seemed untouchable. He wasn't just a Hollywood star, he was the tech investor, the philanthropist, the guy with a clean record and a picture-perfect family. But now, that image is being torn apart. Whispers started online, quietly at first, but now they've grown into full-blown rumors that Ashton may have been taken into custody. The reason? His name has reportedly come up in connection with the ongoing investigation involving music mogul Sean Diddy Combs. This wasn't some random association either. Ashton and Diddy have been seen together at elite events, business circles, and behind the scenes of Hollywood for years. But now, after federal agents began uncovering disturbing details about those parties and private gatherings, Ashton's name has suddenly entered the spotlight, not as a witness, but possibly as a participant. And here's the part that got people talking. As soon as the Diddy case went public, Ashton disappeared from view. No red carpet appearances, no TV interviews, no paparazzi shots, nothing. For someone as high profile as Ashton, vanishing overnight is not just rare, it's suspicious. It raised questions not just about his whereabouts, but about what he might be trying to avoid. Hollywood insiders claim this isn't just a coincidence. They believe Ashton is either cooperating with authorities behind closed doors, or he's trying to distance himself from something much larger. In either case, the silence is deafening, and fans are starting to connect the dots, the white parties, and the inner circle. To understand why Ashton is being mentioned now, you have to go back to the white parties, those famous, exclusive events hosted by Diddy that became known for their mystery and power. On the surface, they were luxurious. Celebrities, models, industry giants, all dressed in white, celebrating wealth, fame, and status. But behind the velvet ropes, these parties have now become the subject of intense speculation. According to sources close to the investigation, these events weren't just parties. They were invitations into a much more private world, one where reputations were protected and rules were quietly ignored. Ashton Kutcher wasn't just attending these events, he was reportedly helping organize them alongside other known names like Danny Masterson and Wilmer Valderrama. Together, they formed a powerful clique that some are now referring to as the New Hollywood Rat Pack. This group wasn't just bonded by fame, they were connected through businesses, friendships, and a shared social network that moved in private jets, elite venues, and backrooms most people never hear about. What's alarming is how many of the people in this group have since become the center of controversy. Danny Masterson is now serving time. Wilmer Valderrama has faced public scrutiny for his relationships with much younger women. Diddy is under federal investigation, and now Ashton's name is being mentioned among them. At first, the connections seemed harmless, but when you look closer at the timeline, at who was present, what events they were at, and how they all seemed to move in the same circles, the picture begins to shift. There are growing questions about what really happened at those private events. Who was there? What was seen? And why were certain people consistently included in the guest list? Ashton's consistent presence in that environment, especially with figures now under investigation, is enough to draw serious attention. Even more telling, the sudden silence from everyone involved. In Hollywood, silence doesn't mean nothing happened. Sometimes it means too much happened, and no one wants to be the first to speak. Mila walks away. As Ashton Kutcher's name continues to swirl in controversy, one person closest to him may have finally had enough: Mila Kunis. According to multiple insider reports, Mila has quietly filed for divorce. While no official statement has been made, those close to the couple say this wasn't a sudden decision. It's been building behind the scenes for a while. Over the years, Ashton and Mila have carefully crafted a low-drama image. But when controversy hit their inner circle, like when Danny Masterson faced trial, they scrubbed old photos, posts, and even video clips. The same digital cleanup is happening now, but this time, it's more intense. Sources say Mila is no longer appearing at events with Ashton, has stepped back from joint business ventures, and is distancing herself from anything that could tie her to the growing controversy. For someone who once stood firmly by Ashton's side, the shift is striking. It suggests this latest wave of headlines may have been the breaking point, not just for public image, but for their relationship in private too. A criminal past reawakens. Before the fame, Ashton Kutcher had a history most people don't know about, or forgot. Back in high school, Ashton was arrested for breaking into his school. He wasn't pulling a prank, he was trying to cheat on a test and took cash while inside. He was charged with third-degree burglary, a felony that instantly cost him scholarships and his reputation. Years later, as Ashton's career took off, that charge disappeared. His voting rights were restored, and the record was gone. How? No one knows the full story, but it raises questions about how fame can erase the past. Ashton briefly attended the University of Iowa, but he admitted to partying too much and getting evicted. Soon after, he dropped out and moved to New York to model. Those early years paint a very different picture from the polished image he later built. Now, as new allegations surface, people are revisiting that past, wondering if the warning signs were always there and simply ignored. The murder of Ashley Ellerin. Now let's talk about a case that's haunted Ashton's past for over 2 decades. The murder of his ex-girlfriend, Ashley Ellerin. She was a 22-year-old fashion student. Ashton was supposed to pick her up for a party. He claimed he showed up late, looked through the window, and saw what he thought was spilled wine on the floor, so he left. The next morning, Ashley was found murdered in that same home. The spilled wine had been blood. She had been brutally attacked. For years, people gave Ashton the benefit of the doubt, but now, with everything coming to light, his actions that night don't sit right with fans. Why didn't he call for help? Why leave so casually? Brittany Murphy, Kim Porter, and mysterious deaths. Ashley Ellerin wasn't the only woman in Ashton's orbit to die under strange circumstances. He was also close with actress Brittany Murphy, who died at just 32. The official cause: pneumonia and anemia. Her husband died of the same thing just months later. Too weird to ignore. Then there's Kim Porter, Diddy's ex and mother of 3 of his kids, died young. Cause? Pneumonia again. That's 3 high-profile deaths, all connected, all suspicious, all dismissed with the same vague explanation. Coincidence? Or something darker? Thorn, the nonprofit with secrets. Ashton co-founded a nonprofit called Thorn to fight child exploitation. On paper, it's noble, praised even. But now people are asking, was it a front? Because the same man who claimed to be protecting children was allegedly hosting parties full of underage girls, shady VIPs, and secret cameras. Freedom of Information Act requests have been filed just to uncover the truth behind Thorn's inner workings. And then, without warning, Ashton stepped down from the board. No explanation, no farewell, just gone. Insiders say he knew what was coming and jumped ship before the storm hit. Davy Chase and the broken starlet pattern. Remember Davy Chase? The creepy girl from The Ring. She vanished from Hollywood, arrested multiple times, drugs, jail. Her life fell apart. Word is, it all began after one night, one party, hosted by Diddy and Ashton. She was allegedly way too young to be there, and ever since, things spiraled, and she's not the only one. Lindsay Lohan, Demi Lovato, Mandy Moore, all young girls who were caught up in the same twisted Hollywood circle. The same men, the same pattern, predatory, repetitive, protected. The bar, the setup, and the underage allegations. Whispers are growing louder about a bar allegedly co-owned by Wilmer Valderrama and backed by Ashton. Staff say underage girls were constantly let in, that they were told not to card anyone at certain tables. Megan Good, who now preaches faith and healing, was also named as an alleged investor. An employee came forward and called the setup horrendous, saying the management knew everything and looked the other way. This wasn't a one-time thing. It was organized, protected, and enabled by people in power. And if Ashton was financially tied to that bar, that's not just shady, it's criminal. The final pattern and the fallout zoom out, and the connections form a terrifying pattern. Ashton Kutcher, Wilmer Valderrama, Danny Masterson, Diddy, linked through fame, parties, investments, and, allegedly, abuse. A new rat pack for a darker generation, each with their own list of secrets, each surrounded by broken women, each protected by the Hollywood machine. And now, the machine is starting to crack. Mila Kunis has reportedly walked away. The silence is being broken. The stories are being told. And Ashton, he's scrambling, scrubbing his image, hiding from the press, pretending nothing happened. But the truth? It's out now. And Hollywood's golden boy might be facing the fall of a lifetime. So now the spotlight turns to the big questions. Questions that Hollywood doesn't want to ask. Was Ashton Kutcher quietly taken into custody? Is he directly involved in the larger investigation surrounding his former inner circle? Or is he trying to erase his connections before more comes to light? And what about Mila Kunis? If the reports are true and she's really filed for divorce, what did she find out that made her walk away after years of standing by his side? For a long time, Ashton was seen as one of the good guys in Hollywood, a trusted voice, a tech investor, even a founder of a nonprofit that claimed to protect the vulnerable. But now, with so many connections to people under serious scrutiny, that image is falling apart. This isn't just about one person, it's about a pattern, where some of the most powerful names in entertainment operated in shadows, protected by silence, money, and media control. And as more stories surface, it's becoming harder to separate who knew what, and when. Maybe Ashton was just in the wrong place at the wrong time, or maybe, as many now believe, he was deeply embedded in a system that kept dark secrets well hidden for years. We may never get a full confession, but one thing is clear: the public is watching and the internet never forgets. Now it's your turn. What do you think really happened? Do you believe Ashton was involved? Or is he another victim of guilt by association? Why do you think Mila chose this moment to break away? Drop your thoughts, theories, and any details you've come across in the comments. We're watching everything, and we read every word. And if you found this video eye-opening, hit that like button, share it with someone who needs to see it, and don't forget to subscribe, because what's happening in Hollywood right now, it's just the beginning, and we'll be here, bringing you the truth one story at a time.